Once upon a time, there were two best friends. One of them had a computer and the other one sucked.
Answer my question. Alright, are we doing our preamble?
We always do a preamble.
Okay, is it even count as a preamble if we're so self-aware of the preamble?
That we're talking about it as a preamble?
Yeah. Does that even count anymore? Does that count as a cold open still?
Yeah.
Hello everybody, welcome to Chillin with the Villains.
It's us.
It's been 40 seconds.
We've just finished the last one. On today's episode of Chillin' with the Villains, I finally get an apology for our childhood.
So, what's something about me that still surprises you?
Stop with the soulmate questions.
I don't know, some of them are good.
Are they?
Yeah.
What? Get a good one. Let me hear a good one.
Okay, well some of them I have to... What do I do that you find most comforting?
Most comforting?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was talking about this with yesterday.
See?
So we got invited to go hang out somewhere yesterday.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for like a post 4th of July, just kind of hang out because it's hot.
And I was really going to decline because I had some plans last night, and I didn't...
Also, do you want me to edit your fiance's name out of this?
Oh, did I say that? Yes,
Yeah.
please do.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So, anyway, I was talking to my fiance, right, last night, and I got invited to go out to this thing, and I really was kind of on the fence about it. And by on the fence, I mean I was tumbling towards the side of don't fucking go, right? And then I saw you pipe up that you were gonna go because it was a whole group chat. And then I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go to that. He's going. I don't have to worry about and this is the very specific thing. You understand my cues for when my social battery is just fuck dry, right? It's just out.
Yeah.
And you can just see when I'm just doing the okay, I'm done. And you usually pipe in, you'll interrupt in a conversation, and you'll just carry the whole fucking conversation, so that I don't have to struggle through it.
Isn't it kind of weird how I'm arguably the most antisocial person you know, but I'm just a fucking social butterfly?
Well, yeah, I mean, you I think just have your moments, right, where you have what appears to be an infinite spring of just energy for social situations.
Which is weird because I have zero social battery most of the time.
But you don't want to get into them. You don't want to get into those social situations. And I think it's because it's you burn a fucking atomic bomb. You know what I mean? You're
Am I the Oppenheimer of social interactions?
You get to the function, right? And you're just you're popping, you're going off. You're talking to everyone, you're cracking jokes, you're having a good time, you party it hard, and you just you fucking cook your reserves so that when you're done, you're just burnt.
Yeah, I'm just I'm out of here.
You're burnt fucking toast, man. And the next time somebody is hey, let's do a social thing, you're no, because I think you remember how drained and depleted you feel because you just go so ham when you're at them.
Which again is so weird because I'm not the whole thing's supposed to be of the difference between an extrovert and an introvert is that extroverts recharge their batteries at social functions.
Yeah.
Right? I don't do that. Which is weird because now I'm more social now than I was a year ago.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's weird that I go to so many more social functions.
Yeah, I mean it is and it isn't. I think that it's healthy for one to get out and go to these social functions.
Well, yeah, I mean, considering my usual daily routine is go to work, come home. Well, so it's wake up, go to work, eat again later, come home from work, eat, go to the gym, and then come home and eat. That's my daily routine 6 days a week, with some cyberpunk interspersed on Thursdays. But yeah, generally, at pretty much any given time of the day, you'll know exactly where I am.
But yeah, no. So that actually like was a comforting thing. That I was like, yeah, that's one of the reasons that he's definitely one of my best friends, is he can just tell when my social battery is cooking low.
And when I can swoop in and save you from a social interaction you don't want.
And on top of that, like, I feel like these days, specifically, I always get invited to do shit after I've worked a full day of work or had a full day of school. Like, my days off, I don't get invited to do shit.
Well, yeah, because your Friday is
right.
Everyone else's Saturday.
It's everyone else's Saturday, and I'm always just like, whenever there's some function going on, I feel like I'm just fucking dead inside by the time it happens, and I have to like muster up the will to give a fuck, and it just ain't there, dog. Like, it's done.
That's why I'm there.
So,
because I'm your emotional support animal.
But anyway, yeah. So I went to the function last night. It was fun. It was good. It was a good time.
See, that was a great question.
Yeah, that was a good question.
That we've had plenty of good.
It was very wholesome. This is probably what we should have put on the end of the last episode,
which is what I was trying to do at the beginning of it. And you can't deny that. It's literally on record. Cool, I don't have to answer it. Let me come up with another one. What do you find most attractive about me that is not physical? But let me change that. What do you find most admirable? And then I'll answer.
Admirable, huh? I don't know. I feel like we've been over this before. This is actually really similar to another question.
Yeah, it is. So we're going to skip that.
Yeah.
What's something about me that still surprises you? So let me answer this, actually, because you answered the last one first.
Okay.
And to answer your question about the other one, it is actually the same thing that I'm going to answer here, is your unending thirst for knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, that is both a comfort to me, because I know if we don't know something, you're going to hyper focus on figuring out everything about it, and I will know everything that I need to know about it in about 24 to 48 business hours. But also, it's like, you know me, I've said it literally on the channel before, of you don't have to go to school but never stop learning, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Much like in a previous Chillins, have said I took Mamba mentality too far. You took that way too far. And you are learning every second of every hour of every day about something.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. So, like, things become boring once you know about them. Is that just me?
No, I get it. Well,
it becomes mundane.
Well, it's not boring for me, but because there's nothing more to learn about it, it becomes part of the brain bank.
It's like a fun fact is only fun when it's on the Snapple cap. Once it's in my brain, it's not fun anymore.
In fact, it's a burden.
You know, but so like I seek out the Snapple caps, right? Like,
so when you're telling people a fact that you've already learned, do you call them burdensome facts? Continue? That was a bad joke. Ignore the joke.
No, I don't know. It's just like I don't mind like retelling knowledge. Like if somebody's got a question and they're like passionate about it, and I have that knowledge, that's a passionate conversation, right? But the mere fact of having that knowledge is mundane and boring.
That's fair. That's fair. I get it.
And like I don't ever want to like bore somebody by dumping knowledge that they don't give a shit about on them.
Yeah, so that is something I do genuinely feel bad about, is when I'm info dumping on someone, and I know they're just being nice.
Yeah.
I always feel bad about doing that, because I know they're not actually interested in the information, and I'm like, but I gotta do this thing.
So, like, knowing things is boring and lame and dumb, and learning things is new and cool and fun. But learning things is how you go to knowing things, and then it's boring and lame and dumb again. So you just skip that step, learn something, forget it immediately, learn somthing else. You know what I mean?
Is that why you're really getting into neuroscience, so you can memory dump and relearn everything again?
Well, no. So actually, there is like actually a level of truth to that, I guess.
Guys, I'm so good. I've downloaded this guy.
So my memory sucks. I'm sure you know I had an MRI
Yeah.
a couple years back before I started school.
I remember.
And, yeah, they found some neurological scarring, which, in case you didn't know, is a scar on my brain. Probably from a stroke. Probably. Their best estimation was I had a stroke sometime when I was working. I'm pretty sure we said it before. I used to work for Tesla.
No, we've never said that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I used to work for Tesla. I was an engineer for them for a long time. And
Well, yeah, you always used to ask when you were working for them. I always used to censor it out.
yeah. So I really don't care if people know that. Like, that's fine.
Which now, by the way, this for the real villain fans, right? Real villain fan hours. Back in Hollow Knight, when I was making a joke that I'm actually Tokyo's boss, and he's like, "I don't have a boss. I only work for Elon." That's what I edited out.
You edited that shit out. Okay. Yeah.
That's the name I edited out.
Oh, so yeah, no, I was pretty high up there in Tesla for a long time. But anyway, it gave me a fucking stroke. And that is how that fucking went down. Their best estimation is it happened towards the end of my career there. And that only happened because I was then working at another place later on, and I suddenly found myself unable to complete a full sentence. The thoughts were there, like the words were in my head, and as I went to grab them, to use my mouth to say them, they would slip away. And so I remember I called my boss at the time, and I was like, trying to communicate that I have to go, and that something's not right, but I like couldn't do it. And my boss thankfully recognized kind of what was happening. It was like, it really seems like this guy is having a fucking stroke right now. And he told me to go to the hospital and get it checked out. So, I immediately did that. That was what I was going to do anyway.
But then it became an excused absence.
Yeah, then it became like, okay, like they know. At least they know what's going on. So I went to the hospital and I got it checked out. And they're like, all right, good news is you didn't have a stroke today.
Congratulations, you are 1 year post-stroke.
Like, you probably had a stroke sometime in this time. And I was like, oh yeah, that fucking makes sense.
I was like, oh, that tracks.
But that was a big part of my interest in neuroscience. Was I had noticed, specifically since I stopped working for Tesla, my memory had gotten so much worse. Just so much worse. My long-term memory is generally okay. My short-term memory is like fucked. It's like fucked to hell. And I don't like smoke enough weed for that to be the fucking case. You know what I mean? Like, I've never been a big weed smoker, like, ever, my whole life. I know potheads fuck their short-term memory. No. My short-term memory was just fucked.
Yeah, no, it's not because he smokes too much weed. It's because he had a stroke.
I had a stroke. Arguably much worse than being a pothead. Anyway, fucking, yeah. So, that was a big part of my interest in neuroscience, was I was like, okay, maybe I'll find something that will be able to help me.
Fill the brain void.
Yeah, to actually, like, heal the brain wound that I'm walking around with, right? And it's not looking great on that front. So,
yeah, every time he learns something from his doctorate program, he's like, oh, man, I better write this down so I can remember to say it in my thesis.
But I started doing that. I started taking a lot more notes just in my day-to-day. Like, I was never a huge note taker. I take a lot of notes now. It kind of helps. But sometimes I look at my notes and I'm like, these are the scribblings of a madman and nothing more. Like,
you need to change.
So, that's been life. Yeah.
So now your turn about me.
Okay.
What is something about me that still surprises you?
I don't know. I kind of feel like we covered this on another episode, but I'm just gonna say the sheer audacity.
You know what that fucking tracks?
Right, by which you just smack yourself into a brick wall until the wall breaks first. Right?
Oh, is this the give a man a hammer?
Yeah, it's a
everything
give a
will
man a
second
hammer
nothing?
thing. But again, it still surprises me because so often will I see you accomplishing a goal through means by which no eldritch entity should be able to make that miracle fucking happen. Right? You just do it. Like something in your executive function clicks to do it, but the like part of your brain that's connected to the available tools you have on hand just disconnected entirely.
So to connect this to another Chillin, which I admitted that I take Mamba mentality too far, right? To quote Mr. Kobe Bean Bryant, job's not done. That's why I bash my head against stuff. It's because job's not done.
You know,
what's there to smile about?
It's very like there's no adaptation. There's no change.
There's some adaptation.
There's some, but when you're focused on completing a specific task,
I will do it my way.
Like you will adapt and you will change when the task is done. You know what I mean? Like when you have time to adapt and change, that's when the adaptation and the change happens. The evolution occurs outside of business hours.
The evolution occurs after the trauma.
Like during the job.
Wait, is my trauma response to grow? Is that not the most healthy trauma response? Is to grow as a human being?
It's just it doesn't happen in the moment. You know, like it has to be over, and then you can.
Oh my god, that's a trauma response.
Like that's how, you don't. In the moment, you fall back entirely on what you've been doing up to this point, and then after it's over, you adapt, because it's such. I've talked about it before, but like the lazy man principle, right? Of just like the laziest workers that you have are typically some of your best fucking workers.
Yeah.
And that's because they don't want to do work, so they find out a way to do work so efficiently they're barely working.
That's literally me at work.
But like the working efficiency is so fucking high because they just don't want to fucking deal with it. So they find a way to get it done as quick as humanly possible and as painlessly as possible. But like that, is it's a good way of like showcasing kind of like how you operate. While you're doing it, you're mad about it. You're always so mad about it. Like you, like anytime, because I was his boss for a little while. But anytime I would give him a task, he would get so mad. He would get so angry.
And it would get done. And it would get done right.
And then it would get done. And then he would come to me later and he would just be like, that was fucking bullshit. We're finding a way to make that less bullshit for the future, right? And that's just how the man operates. But like, I always like it was very comforting in my work life when Miguel was angry because I knew that meant shit was getting done.
Well, there was diminishing returns to that, right? Because like after a certain point when I got so mad at something that I basically changed the basic functions of it to not even be the task that was assigned to me anymore. Like, I've changed it so it's less infuriating to me, but then it's not the task that was given to me at that point.
Well, I mean, it really depends on how mad you were at it. I would actually say when you were at your most mad, you would not change it. You would have it be as irresponsibly annoying as possible so that you could be as angry as humanly possible about it.
And then be like, change this.
Yes. Like, you would, just so you could get as mad as you were going to get about it so that I knew how bad it was, right?
Oh my god, you know that whole joke in Game Grumps about the patented Aaron Hansen path of most resistance? Is that me?
That was, yeah, when you really hated something. When you really hated something. It was like, I always remember, this is going to be a flashback to like fucking high school. You were in a show, and there was a scene where your character was supposed to fall down a set of stairs.
Oh, Noise is Off, yeah.
And your character was supposed to fall down a set of stairs, and you would take the route most likely to give you actual brain damage.
Which there was one time I did in fact fall off the stage and was severely concussed, but that was actually the fault of the stagehands.
But it was a full sell of the fall. Like, you were in no way, shape, or form concerned with the presentation that you as a person and as an actor were going to be okay and safe. You were 100% concerned with the audience fully believing
That I fell.
that you fell down the stairs.
I mean, I'm a method actor.
So instead of finding a way to convincingly portray a man falling down the stairs, you simply threw yourself down the stairwell.
Well, so the only part of that fall was the part where I tripped. Because then otherwise I knew exactly how to throw my body down the stairs to avoid injury, but to genuinely fall down the stairs.
Now, to give a little more context to this, there were 2 casts for this show.
I was in the better one.
There was another actor that played his role a different cast.
Yeah.
And that actor did not convincingly fall down the stairs.
Well, he just copied everything I did, but worse.
But that actor did show a level of safety and care for their body, because as it turns out, when you throw humans down the stairs, they break.
I was fine.
Yeah.
No, because the only time I was injured was not my fault. It was explicitly the stage crew's fault. Because they were like a foot downstage of the spike.
Anyway, so
There was such little like room for error.
when I talk about that, it's like giving you a task that you don't want to do is much like giving you a set of stairs that you're supposed to convincingly fall down.
But I like that part is the difference.
I know.
I loved it. It was my favorite part of the whole
I
show.
think you
I
legitimately...
put my whole pussy into it.
I think you legitimately love being angry.
I kind of do. I love being mad
I
about
really do. And I think that when something is horseshit, when it's like legitimate horseshit, right? You are happy to take that horseshit to its maximum level. So you have the most to be mad about with it.
Well, it makes me productive.
You put your whole pussy into throwing yourself down the stairs, man. It just like you do. And it's still horseshit. Like, nobody should have to fall down the stairs over and over and over.
I mean, I like that, though. Like,
But,
that was my
like,
favorite part of the show. That's the
Breakneck
climax.
speeds.
But it was the climax of the show, and it always got the most audience reaction and cheers.
Yeah. Same with you completing any bullshit task at work.
It doesn't get any audience cheers, though. I need to be...
Yes, it did. Are you kidding me? This man used to come to me pining for the numbers. Pining for
Yeah,
the
but you're not
numbers.
an audience member. You were my boss.
No, but you wanted everyone to know. You did.
Well, yeah, because I'm better than them.
You wanted the applause.
I hate losing.
You wanted the applause.
Listen, I love winning, but I hate losing more. And I refuse to be second best at something I'm better than everyone else is.
Like,
You see, that's my toxic competitiveness.
you don't watch One Piece.
I'm sure I can know exactly what part you're talking about, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you've probably seen it. So in One Piece, there's this whole arc. There's this character. His name is Whitebeard, right?
Yeah.
Whitebeard. Old ass man. Cancer patient. Strongest man in the world. I guess tune out for One Piece spoilers from 10 years ago.
Snape kills Dumbledore, by the way.
Right. Whitebeard, all right, he goes to this thing. It's the Marineford War, right?
Yeah.
It's the War of the Best. And he's widely considered to be the strongest man in the world, despite the fact that he's like 90 fucking years old.
Yeah, and he's like dying.
Dying of cancer. He has like 4 sword wounds in him. He has like 2 entire holes. Like you can see front to back in his body, right? And he's just fucking people up. And it's a tragedy. Like you get to watch this man die in real time. And just his unyielding spirit in the face of death and as he's dying. And at the end of it, he's riddled with bullet holes. He's absolutely just fucked through the chest several times. The cancer's definitely still there and not helping, right? And he just says some badass one-liner, and he dies standing so that people aren't sure if he's dead or not. right?
Am I Whitebeard?
That's what you want.
Okay. Despite the fact that I do identify as a masculine, non-binary person, I am still biologically a male and have lived most of my life as a male. So, when I say this, I'm including myself. Every male wants to die in a war.
No.
They want to have a heroic death.
A heroic death, yes.
That's really what I was
Maybe
going
not
for,
in a war.
not the war thing. But like every male wants to die a heroic death, and that's what I want. I have an unending thirst for recognition, and I need everyone to know I'm the best and they didn't win. But more specifically, I did not lose.
But yeah, more to the point, it's the I have seen you die on more hills. You know what I mean?
I'm a professional hill dyer.
No, like straight up. There are so many times where I physically ask you out loud, is this the fucking hill you're gonna die on, right? And the answer is always yes. If there's a hill, you're going to die on it.
No, listen, if the hill looks comfortable and I can find a good place to lay down and die on, then I'll do it.
No, you will die kicking and screaming on every hill.
Well,
In a tornado with fists.
Well, as you mentioned, I always want to be angry about something, so that's what's comforting to me about the hill.
That's what it is.
That's what's comfortable about the hill.
It doesn't matter how big the hill is. It doesn't matter where in the world the hill is. If there's a hill, you are driven to die upon it.
Much like salmon swim upstream to procreate and die, I find hills around the world to die on. Ugh.
Anyway, yeah. So that's
the thing that still surprises you
it's
about me.
The sheer fucking audacity. it's the sheer fucking audacity, and I don't mean that in
it's
like
the
a
nerve
negative.
It's the nerve of this bitch.
It's not even meant in like a negative sense. When I say like the sheer fucking audacity, I mean it in an awe-inspiring moment of just like, fuck, he's really just running right into this brick wall.
Like, my God, the perseverance. Okay, so I've been out of therapy for like 10 plus years at this point,
yeah.
right? Like some 10 or almost 10 years close to this point. I have learned more and fixed more about myself through this channel than I ever did. Well, it's funny because I am now just finally taking a lot of the things I learned and took from therapy in my early 20s and applying it to my life now because I'm finally in a place to understand the lessons that were trying to be imparted to me, right? Mm-hmm. But why couldn't this have come 10 years ago before the trauma? Which, again, apparently my trauma response is to grow as a fucking human being. Which is apparently the healthiest thing in the world. Anyway, we started wholesome, so maybe we should bookend with something wholesome.
Sure.
Nice cock. It's wholesome. It's a compliment.
Is it wholesome though?
Yeah.
Or is it like deviantly sexual?
No, it's because it's not deviantly sexual because I'm not trying to say, nice cock, can you stick it in me? I'm complimenting a part of you that maybe not everyone gets to see, right? Like,
you don't get to see.
Says you. Maybe your fiance sends me photos so we could be like, damn, what a nice curve
That
to
would
it.
be weird.
Would it?
Yeah. Don't do that. Nope. Gonna say no to that. Nope. I see you there, gearing up for a joke, whatever it is.
Yeah, I shouldn't say.
Right to the joke orphanage.
So this is vaguely related. It's more related to Tokyo's fiance than it is to nice cock. So it was funny because we were making a joke. So Chillin with the Villain is our podcast, right? That's
Sure,
what we
yeah.
call it, our podcast, because that's essentially what it is. And she goes, wait, you guys have a podcast? And I'm like, yeah, it's what we record like every other month. And she goes, oh. Like, she was like, oh, I thought you guys had, like, an actual podcast. And I started finding a hill to die on.
Immediately scanning the horizon for a hill.
No, I was just like, I turned to Token like, you need to find a more supportive wife. Anyway, I think that's it. That's wholesome enough, right?
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Remember to post pictures of your cock in the comments.
No. I was going to hit stop, but I can't end it on that. Don't do that.
Why not?
Don't.
Well, cock doesn't mean penis. It means it's a male chicken. It's a rooster. Post
Don't do that either.
of your chickens in the comments.
Don't.
Tag me on Instagram at SharkDad. That's 2 R's. Find me on TikTok at SharkDad with 2 R's. Show me your cock pictures.
We're fucking out of here.